Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Empowering Voices. Today, I have a very special guest. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Welcome, Sarika. Welcome to our new episode. How are you?
Thank you, Mara. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really well. Excited to get to talk to you because we've been on many Zoom calls, but I haven't had the chance to speak one-on-one with you. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, in fact, I want to tell everyone, we met online. We never met in real life. Sarika lives in Poland. I live in England. So especially now with the pandemic and all this, I mean, our traveling life has been reduced to the minimum. So one day we will meet in real life, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But there was like a chemistry, and I really enjoy Sarika when she talks, all her energy and the thousands of things she does. I mean, she's like the symbol of the multi-passionate entrepreneur. And she will tell us everything today. As you know, we always start from some words for our conversation, and today, for those of you who are watching the episode, you can even see the piece. It says dream it, chase it, live it. And Sarika will tell us why these words resonate with her and with what she does and what she is in life, and then she will tell us a bit about herself. Oh. So welcome. We can't wait to know you better.
Thank you, Mara. And we're like sisters.
Yeah, we always say
this
matching fringe. Mine has to be cut. I promise I'm going in a couple of days. So.
And I love what you're doing with your design, and not just design, but your words. So can you show it again?
Yeah, sure.
Because I've seen the photo of it. Yes. Yeah, it's so beautiful. And the reason why it resonated with me, this dream it, chase it, and live it, it's almost, it's so, in some ways, so spontaneous. And I'm such a sometimes illogical and more spontaneous person, and when I saw those words, I thought, okay, this is perfectly.
It's more emotional. Yeah.
Because sometimes I visualize things and then it comes through. So somehow, I don't know, it's just there's no real reason behind, but when I saw you have so many amazing, beautiful, I've seen the scarves, the t-shirts, but when I saw that one, it's like, okay, that's
the one.
yeah, that's so me.
And also, I mean, knowing now a bit your personality, because I always thought that dreaming is not something static and calm and being there waiting, but it's a very active job. I mean, you have to chase and grab your dreams, otherwise someone else will take them. And I see you like that, very energetic, very, active in making your dreams come true. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I guess so, because in some way, I think I've maybe done some crazy things. But sometimes when you feel like, okay, it's calling you. And as you know, I completely changed careers. So
yes. In fact, tell us a bit, what was your old story, what you were doing in the past?
So it's hard to believe from what I'm doing now, but originally I was working with the United Nations. And even that, it was more not from a logical, well, of course, from a logical thinking, but it was like, oh, at that time I was young, I want to change the world. I want to, like I wanted to do something good. And then I discovered, that there's an organization.
So what was the area you worked in with the United Nations? Which was the area you were in charge of?
So my original background is on urban development, urban policy, and women's empowerment. So that was my.
That's amazing.
Yeah, originally it was about gender equality within, development. So my original passion was about women and women's access to housing within the urban development. So that's how I joined. But yeah, it's exactly like your hoodie, that dream it, live it, chase it, or it was the other order.
Dream it, chase it, live it.
Yeah. Like I knew that I wanted to do that, and then it was like working backwards. Okay, I have to take this exam called the UN recruitment exam, but I could already like visualize
yourself
working with women in this area. So it was like, yeah, it was kind of, I was visualizing, okay, I will do it. And that somehow, it's hard to explain, but it was more.
Yeah, but it was, your dream, basically. Yeah. And you worked for that because, of course, you studied in England and then you had to get some certifications to get there. But eventually you did it. And you worked in Africa, if I don't remember wrongly, and Asia
Kenya,
as well.
Thailand and Vietnam and Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So nearly 10 years I was doing that. So it's, but now, as you know, I'm doing.
Yeah, and now, I mean, believe it or not, I mean, there's not, it seems not related, but I always think there's a relation in all our dreams. And your passion is for sure the same one, to start a completely different life. Tell us a bit of what you do today.
Today, I am basically doing two things, but I think there is an overall umbrella, like you say. So one is that I help people relax their faces because we actually carry so much tension on our face. So how I do it through face yoga. And the second thing I'm doing, which seems unrelated, but there is a thread.
A connection, yeah.
Yes, is I help people also discover the beauty of sake. The Japanese sake, which is
look at that.
which is our craft. What you see behind me are the traditional
cups. Yeah.
So those are the two things I do, and especially for the sake. Have you had sake, Mara?
Look, I had sake in the past, but I don't have any knowledge. It has a very specific taste. That I liked, but I never explored. But I mean, following you on Instagram is another world. It's amazing, and it's very. I mean, it's traditional, but so modern as well, because it's a field that they are exploring. And what I like is that you are talking about involving more and more women. In fact, I thought it was predominantly managed by men, but actually there are a lot of women working in the field. I mean, now more than in the past, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, it's probably fair to say it is still pretty much male dominated, because if you think about, I mean, the fact that actually women were banned from sake making until just recently.
Oh, wow.
For hundreds of years. So even the women were the original sake brewers, because originally sake was a sacred kind of liquid 2,000 years ago. It's like an offering to the gods. So women or a temple priestess made sake.
Oh,
but
wow.
Then, yeah. But,
and was it passed like in, I mean, generation by generation? I mean, only through the men of the generations? What I mean is, if there wasn't a man in the next generation, was lost.
Okay, so yeah, because sake went through so many different phases. So it was kind of, originally it was a more small, sacred, religious thing. But then as more and more people, or more common people, discovered sake, it became kind of a much more kind of a industrial thing. And then that's when women were banned because of multiple reasons, like religious reasons and practical reasons. And so in terms of sake breweries, yes, like you say, normally they're like sake breweries are passed on like from one, let's say from the father to the son, etc., etc. But yeah, so for it's been like that. But for the last hundreds of years, women were not allowed to even step inside the brewery.
Wow.
Yeah, but things are changing in the last 40 years or so. Now, well, right now there's like 1,200 sake breweries, and each brewery has one, like a boss, like a brewing boss. It's called Toji. So out of 1,200, now we have like 30 or 50. So it's still a small number.
But still, it's a first step, right?
Yeah. But but it's exciting times because these women are, also men, of course, are doing, now so many creative things like sparkling sake. Also, there's also red sake. There's all kinds of fun experiments. So no, it's a fun thing. But the reason why I'm involved or why I'm so interested in sake is that even though, now the world, even you as an Italian person knows sake, which is great. So now the world is waking up to sake, but the truth is that in Japan or in general, the sake industry has been declining.
Oh, wow.
Oh, consistently, it's really quite shocking. So
I would have expected the opposite because, of course, now it's more widespread. I mean, before probably was just in Japan, right? While now with globalization, I mean, it starts traveling. Nonetheless, it's declining. And why is that?
Yeah, so no, you're right. Like outside, overseas export is booming. Well, COVID has been bad, but
of course.
But in general, it's like triple, quadruple exports from before. But within Japan, which is basically the majority of sake consumption, only a tiny bit is exported. Not like Italian wine, because Italian wine, so much wine is exported. But in the case of sake, the export is only like 5%, 7%.
It's very little fraction.
So that part is going well. But the truth is that the majority of the consumption is in Japan, and that's just steadily declining.
But why? Because the new generations are not very used to it? Is it more that?
Yeah, it's not. Well, now there's a mini revolution or a kind of a mini renaissance, but like in general, it's like, oh, that's like an old man's drink. You know how like, it's more of an image issue. And also that for a while, the taste wasn't, I mean, because after the war, after, Japan, when Japan was poor, the sake that was made at that time was pretty horrible because it wasn't actually pure sake, they were mixing things, so kind of reputation went down, image issues, and a lot of things combined. But that's how, and then lots of competition from.
But I think it is a bit like the Italian wine. In my generation, to drink wine for the youngsters wasn't very common. Today is very chic and very trendy. So I think it's a change connected, of course, with the image that we are able to give to the drink in this case.
Exactly.
But what I was reading through your posts is that now they are trying to do, I mean, the traditional original sake is still there, untouched. I mean, and it's really a tradition with like a ritual. But they are trying to approach the drink in a more trendy, more modern way. So with a combination with beer, with wine, with other
using wine yeast, and there's so many fun experiments now. So I think there's a little renaissance happening at last. That's why the reason why, because when I first discovered sake was like 10 years ago, and at that time it wasn't like that at all. It was like still an image issue, and but the sake I drank was so good that I thought, I didn't know this. My decades I've been drinking wine, and I only discovered so late that our own national beverage was
exactly.
And then at that time I also discovered that it's really, there's a serious decline, and that breweries are bankrupt every month, closing every month, because the number of breweries, like in 1800s, was 30,000, and now it's 1,200.
Wow, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I thought
But that's why you have a mission now.
Yeah, I thought,
right?
okay, yeah, we should do something.
Because anyway, you are an ambassador in the world of sake. So, and you do it beautifully. I mean, we are all curious now to try sake. Actually, you are going to give me the places that I can go and try it properly here in London.
There's Italian sake too.
Come on.
Yeah. There's. I haven't had it myself, but I've seen that there's a sake brewed in Italy. It's called, I think, riso, riso.
Riso.
Right.
Yeah, because rice.
Exactly.
Oh, so wow.
Even in Europe and in England, I think there are 2 sake breweries, local ones.
Oh, wow. I need to go because by coincidence, I couldn't believe that by coincidence in Poland, apparently is quite well known as a drink.
Well, not so well known, but yeah. So, I mean,
but more than in many other places because, you even have a museum, right?
No, there's no sake museum, but there's a Polish vodka museum.
See?
Yes, but I've done a workshop there for the
okay.
Polish
so where they do events related to other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like the wine, we have the sommelier that matches the wine with the food, the right one with the food. You do it. I mean, you do these combinations to see how the sake can give power to some flavors.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. There's so many, fun pairings you can do, just like with wine. But in the case of sake, I just find it even easier to pair because sake is lower in acidity than wine. Well, actually, don't get me wrong. I love wine. I love especially Italian things. Prosecco, I like limoncello. I like lots of other drinks too.
Of course.
Yeah, but yes, absolutely. We have a so fun kind of experimenting because actually sake goes with Italian food a lot too. So like Parmigiano, the umami.
Wow.
Yeah, of the Parmigiano, and the sake has also lactic acid. So it's a really great combination with Italian cheese and stuff too.
Oh, wow. I'm really curious. And I think there's a lot on the design part with at least what I remember when I think of sake. I also think of beautiful bottles, of course, with the Japanese characters. I mean, ideogram and stuff, and it's all very elegant, the Japanese style. I mean, it cannot be imitated anywhere in the world. That is elegance, but also the practical part. This combination is always present. I mean, in an everyday drink, because it can be used every day, I suppose. There's then the beauty also of the design and the packaging and all these details. But do you use it as instead of wine in Japan? I mean, do you use it during a meal, or it's more at the end of the meal?
Absolutely. Well, this is the funny thing because so many people outside of Japan are not sure what sake is. Is it like an aperitif, or is it with a drink, or is it with like a digestive? But actually, the answer is it could be any of the above.
Okay.
But mainly it's with food. I mean,
okay.
I think Japanese people, it's not possible to drink without eating.
Okay.
But it can be used as from anything from the start to the finish because we actually have aged sake too. It's a really good digestive, and we have sparkling sake to start.
So exactly. I mean, what it goes with the antipasto, what it goes with the main meal. Okay, because when I used to go in to Japanese restaurants when I was much younger, normally the sake was something they brought at the end of the meal. So I thought it was like the limoncello in Naples, you know. I mean, then I understood that it's not limited to that. And then, so the idea of the sake is because your mission is, of course, to let everyone know about this powerful and magic drink. And it's a way to look after the person and care about the relaxation and well-being. And that is the part that connects to your other passion.
Yes. Oh, Mara, you got it exactly. Hard to explain, but yes, the ultimate mission. Of course, I want to, help support the sake industry because it's such a fantastic, a craft that's kind of declining. So for sure, we want to support that. But also, yes, sake is fantastic for relaxation. And of course, it's great to be able to support the women who are working in the sake industry too. Not just the brewers, but there's actually, of course, the brewers, but there are educators who are also similarly like me want to.
And working behind the scenes to make that happen. Yeah. And tell me a bit more about your face yoga. That is very, very intriguing. I mean, I took your course and because actually I have a terrible wrinkle here that comes from me always being like that and thinking too much. No, and now I discovered here as well that is probably from being angry. I don't like.
Concentrating.
Let's call it like that. So it can be actually, it can change your features of your
Absolutely. Well, actually, for me, what's so fun about face yoga is that, of course, like you said, Mara, we actually unconsciously hold so much stress on our faces, and we don't even know, especially, as, online entrepreneurs, if we're in front of the screen, it's so easy to be this, stressing. So it's number one, is fantastic for relaxing the face. But what I love about face yoga is that when you actually relax your face, you also relax your heart and your mind. So it's actually so much deeper than just about
aesthetical,
or this kind of, because in Japan, when you hear face yoga, it's always like, okay, it's look younger with face yoga, it's like this, but actually it even goes, I really feel that it works even deeper. So I love that, and that's why I'm also doing face yoga. And with sake, you can do face yoga and sake at the same time.
Exactly. Wow, that would be the non plus ultra, really the top. And then have a nice sleep afterwards. Perfect.
So in short, face yoga is basically a face exercise, but that you can really also you can uplift even your mindset. So it kind of a bit relates to what you're doing as well. I think there's all the underlying thread that we want to uplift people and ourselves, right?
Exactly. But is face yoga something common in Japan, for example? Because here, I find it quite new. And probably at the beginning we were a bit skeptic, I have to say.
I'm sure.
But now, not because you can see, when you start trusting people who do it, you really can see the difference, as we said, aesthetical, but also this well-being inside you. And it's another way for meditation, if you want, another way to look after ourselves and our mindset that we always need. Anything in that direction is very helpful. So is it very widespread in Japan?
It's still not the most mainstream thing. Of course, it's not like normal hatha yoga, but my teacher is Fumiko, who's she's the one who created the face yoga method, and she's Japanese. So she's been doing this for the last 10 years. But, if you go back, supposedly even Cleopatra was doing face exercise. But so in Japan, I think when you say face yoga, people have heard.
They know what
or
it is,
know
at
about it.
least.
Whereas when I say face yoga outside of Japan, people are like, "What? Is that a joke?"
Yeah, of course, you have to be totally relaxed and not to think how you are looking.
It looks like a joke, but it actually works wonders.
Yes. And but you have, of course, again, every day I think I discovered that you have another certification, another passion, another something that you do. That, by the way, Sarika is an entrepreneur, but she's also a mom and a wife. I mean, she has also another part of her life that she has to work on. So, but of your passions, tell me something else, because now I want to know all the things that you do, how you do it.
That's all. I think face yoga and sake are my definitely number one, or parallel number one passion.
Yeah, but I read that you are studying something, right, at the moment.
Oh, no, that's also something.
Let's not forget the night, because I don't know when you study, if not in the night.
Oh yeah, and it's because of the time difference, it's like midnight. But yeah, I feel like sake, even no matter how much I study about sake, and I have, this all these qualifications to teach, but I feel like I still don't know enough. Like I want to know more. So,
but because you love it, it's something that you love, and when we love something, really, it's like you want more and suck the knowledge wherever you find it.
Because you can see, these are all on my table right now.
And do you consider yourself a multi-passionate person?
Oh, absolutely. And that's been my struggle.
Well,
because this has really been my last year's struggle since I started my humble company. And, I just love these two things, face yoga and sake. And my struggle was that when I looked around, everyone seems to be doing one focus. And I thought, I'm so scattered.
Yeah. But also because we are educated to choose one thing, right? I mean, I think everywhere in the world, when we are children, they say, what do you want to be as an adult? And there's one choice. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
While when I discovered that a multi-passionate person is a normal person, I was so relieved, because I said, okay, I wasn't strange all my life. I could even have a label, multi-passionate, so I'm normal. So fine.
Exactly, and that was such a great relief that I could do both.
Exactly.
But I only really came to that point only recently, because I was struggling the whole time, like the last 12 months. How do I do both? And is it even like doable or sustainable? But now I think I see that, okay, I see there's underlying things
connection
there, and I could keep both. I don't have to drop any of my babies.
Yeah, exactly. Because also for me, it was a struggle. I say, okay, if I have to choose, if I choose something, I have to leave something else. That's not true at all. And there's always these little dots that connect all the things. For me, it's not just two, no? But anyway, let's not open the chapter. I constantly live in fear of missing out, because I could learn, I don't know, now I'm doing a watercolor course, but I already saw that I want to do a children book illustration course next, but then I want to do a drawing course as well. And then, of course, the embroidery, it's never ending. I want to always learn and do more with anyway. Yeah,
but you're bringing it all together in the sophisticated, sophistication.
Because I think if it's me, like you, and we do different things, in reality, the person is one. the personality is that. So the connection has to be there. Sometimes it's difficult to see it for ourselves because we are inside, but if we take a step back, it's not that difficult, and it's liberating, to be honest.
It sure is liberating, and that moment was only recent for me that so it's been great that I could embrace both, and
yes, you can do it. You have permission. And I wanted to ask you, well, of course, I want to remind everyone that in the post, in the bio, on my website, on YouTube, on the podcast, there are all the contacts to see what you do, how you do it, and check your workshops and for example, the course of his yoga. Everyone can get one. And I normally ask my guests if apart the words that we started with, if you have another word or quote even that is a bit like a mantra or a guidance for you.
Well, it's not in English, or not in Italian either. It's in Japanese, but well, it's called Anzuru yori umu ga yasushi, which is like it kind of translates as, well, the point is that rather than overthinking, because when you overthink something, you make it unnecessarily complicated. It makes you like fear, and kind of you fear that you can't do it. So in this proverb, or this saying, means that actually, rather than overthinking it, if you actually just do it, it's actually
you take action.
Easier.
I'm a big advocate of that, because the more you think, the more you procrastinate, and the less you do.
Exactly. I don't know if you can see my Japanese.
No,
but yes. Okay. But this is definitely when I even though I'm always kind of, well, I choose things it's like instinct driven, but sometimes I do overthink too. So then I have to always remind myself, you know what, maybe I just do it and then I'll find out.
Yeah, and then we see. I mean, the exercise, the trick that I use normally to take action without fear is to think, instead of the worst scenario, to think of the best one.
Yeah, what if it goes?
Because we never think of the best one.
Yes, yeah.
We automatically think of the tragedy that can come. Exactly, but it's. I mean, if we never step out of our comfort zone and we take that action instantly without overthinking, we miss out a lot.
That's true, absolutely.
That was amazing, Sarika. I enjoyed this conversation a lot. I'm sure that all the women listening to us found super interesting. And I think there will be a boom in sake consumption now, because we want all an experiment.
Oh, thank you so much, Mara. It really was so great to get to speak with you at last.
At last. So thank you very much. See you soon, everyone, and thanks again. Bye.
Thank you, Mara.